so we can give it a little bit right here.
Yeah.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Working Theory Podcast. I'm JP, and today we're joined again with Jared. So we're going to be kind of diving into a couple things, couple current events. We're going to open it up with the Olympics because that's kind of been the big thing that everyone's talking about right now, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And I love it personally. I got to say I'm biased. The Olympics, always one of my favorite things. Like growing up, I remember the Sochi Olympics so vividly. It was defining. You're a little kid, so when you're stuck at home all day, it's either do I watch what's on TV? And I had the Xfinity on demand, or it was Comcast at the time. So as soon as it was over, I'm going on demand and rewatching it. And I'd have it in the background and be playing like Minecraft or something too. So I have nothing but happy thoughts, especially about the winter ones. So
the winter ones are always the best, in my opinion. I love the winter. I mean, obviously, we're both from New England, so we're a little biased on that end. But it's like, I feel like all of the winter games are so much, it's such a high pace, it's a lot of sharp objects, which is always fun. High speed, sharp objects, danger. I mean, look at the skeleton. Those guys are crazy going down head first, like 100 miles an hour. And the bobsled. They finally brought ski cross back.
Which I haven't managed to see yet. I haven't managed to catch it yet. I'm kind of
they haven't started yet. I think women start soon, but they're on at like 6 a.m. It's really frustrating.
Oh yeah.
Like, I mean, the curling was fun the other night though, huh? When we watched USA versus Canada curling the night before Valentine's Day.
Yeah, that had no reason being so thrilling. Like, it came down to the wire. We could tell we won, but we weren't sure how. But
I still couldn't tell you exactly how the scoring works. I know they got to get the rock to a certain point.
All people need to know, it was electric. The room exploded. Okay,
we were having a good time, that's for sure.
It was more entertaining than the Super Bowl, which
it really was. Honestly,
recorded.
I think we had a better time there than the Super Bowl. Speaking of which, I don't think that we've talked about the Super Bowl on a podcast yet, have we?
No, and that was an experience in itself. The game overall, I barely remember it. Like, it was that boring to me, unfortunately. I'm not the biggest football guy, but I was rooting for the Pats, being from New England. They're not my team, but why not see Drake May win it all? That would have been awesome. But no, that game was bad. It was bad.
I was watching them and I'm like, did you guys forget how to play football? Like, I don't play football, but I think I could have potentially done a little bit better than them. Like, they're so lost without Belichick. It's insane.
Yeah, it was sad. There was no offense on the Pats side.
It was painful. But getting back to the Olympics.
Yeah.
How about what's up with all these they're not conspiracies, but the controversies going around? Did you hear with the ski jumpers?
The ski jumpers was I heard about the figure skating and like the rigged judges, if you will, or rigged, but could just be biased. But here, tell me about the ski jumpers in detail.
So it's unconfirmed what has been going around. Apparently, the males were getting their injected, so it swelled up because when they got measured for their suits.
I did hear about this. Yeah,
it adds like a few square inches to the suit, and that adds like a few meters of fly time.
Yeah,
you've got to be dedicated to your sport because I'll be honest, nobody's touched. That's a bad time.
That's a creative way to cheat too. Like that right there. All power to them. You go that far.
I'm not even mad.
No,
but that's going a little bit crazy for me. But no, the judges are the other crazy, and it always seems to be the French judges. I mean, even on snowcross, which is like the snowboarding version of ski cross, there's 4 guys racing down the hill, going over jumps.
Mm-hmm.
There's an American rider that, Rubbin's racing. Like, he didn't get in somebody else's line, but they tapped a little bit and, dude went down and they disqualified him.
Mm.
And guess what? 2 French dudes ended up winning. It's like,
oh, go figure, right? I mean, France doesn't really like us right now. Doesn't surprise me, but it's also the Olympics. Every country, they want that little bit of edge, So I kind of get that.
Remember when Russia had to be in white in 2020?
Yeah.
Was that 2020?
I think it was 2020.
Yeah. Or maybe it was 2022.
Yeah.
I think that was the Winter Olympics. Like, they couldn't compete as Russia.
It's confusing. So
yeah.
Now the big one for me was that Ukrainian skeleton competitor that had the helmet of all the fallen civilians in the war. being completely disqualified from the games. I thought that was interesting. I mean, Ukraine, even their president, he went on there and said, this isn't about medals anyway. And the athlete said the same thing. So that's cool, sentimental, but still, like, what's the point? You can
Right.
design your own helmet. I get that it was political in its nature, but
Yeah.
it's
One of the
unavoidable.
one of the luge guys. I think it was one of the luge guys. Or it might have been a skeleton guy. Actually, I think it was a skeleton guy. Is from Connecticut.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if he. I don't know if they finished skeleton yet, but I know that he was doing really good. He put us at the top of the board for a little while. He's like
Heck yeah.
35 or 36. He started this stuff when he was like 31.
Oh,
I was
wow.
like, "There's hope."
It's a bummer with the winter ones because, like, the U.S. isn't going to win everything the
Right.
way we do the summer, but it's still fun. The diversity of sports, like, you really can't go wrong. I'm looking forward to the hockey game tomorrow. Of course, it's at 8 a.m. and it's the finals against Canada, but might have to
And
catch
have
the
an early
replay.
start to the day, bud.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. If I can, that's getting more and more difficult.
I
So
know.
especially on a Sunday.
You
No,
should be going to church like a good boy.
I know.
Um, so back on topic with the Olympics, like all these different countries, like you were saying, it's so bizarre because like with everything going on in the world and how charged everything is, and how some countries aren't really the biggest fan of the U.S. right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's got to make it sting a little bit more when we beat them.
hmm The Olympics are fun too because, like, it really does feel like this is the closest we get to world peace every 2 years.
Right?
Just like for a quick couple weeks. Let's just go
Did you
play
see?
some
Did you
sports.
see the Olympic Village? They
Yeah,
already ran out of condoms like in 2 or 3 days.
I'm actually stunned about this time. This I saw like pictures of the rooms and everything. They didn't really give furniture or anything this time around, so they definitely cut costs. I don't know if they have a lack of funding or whatever it is, but the jokes were that they were using all their suitcases to make like chairs in the room and stuff, and like put the microwave on. Like it's pretty bare bones. So it doesn't surprise me. Someone failed to plan ahead, but
Yeah. Well, I mean, they don't even get paid. Like the athletes don't even get paid to go. That's the
no,
craziest thing. It's
no.
almost like the Super Bowl halftime show. It's like you can be the biggest, music creator in the world or artist in the world, and you don't get paid for at. I mean, I'm sure that they probably get sponsorship deals and stuff, but
Oh yeah, I mean, this time around was interesting. I'll say that because no matter what, it was proof. No matter what goes on the screen, someone's going to be mad. I mean, we already knew that, but this time around, it was just beautiful. I think because I know you know this, but I watched both halftime shows. I didn't watch the actual Super Time halftime show until, um, yeah, it was Monday morning at work.
mm,
So that was fun. But yeah, I watched the Turning Point one. They both were not my cup of tea,
yeah,
but I mean,
they're
it's just
they're
me.
both interesting. But I always find it funny how people always find a reason to get upset.
Oh
You know,
yeah,
like if they can find a reason to be offended, they will on both sides of the aisle.
yes.
It's like we were talking about. Maybe having the halftime show of the biggest American sport being Spanish, maybe that wasn't the best bet. But like there's been crazier stuff that's happened. I mean, at least they didn't sing the other. Didn't they sing like the Black National Anthem or something like that? Some made up thing
Oh, I
like
don't.
a few years ago or something like that. There was some like weird controversy with that, and it's like
It's
one of
just
those
been
other ones. Like
politics
maybe
out of
I wouldn't
sport.
have done that, but guess what? It doesn't change the outcome of the game. It doesn't
No.
change what time the sun rises tomorrow. It doesn't change how much money I get paid. So I really don't care that much.
But what do you mean? The Super Bowl halftime performer is supposed to unify the country yearly. Come on.
Exactly.
They're
Exactly.
supposed to.
Exactly. That's their one and only job.
Yeah.
Entertainer's job is to
Yeah.
is to do that. Not the politicians or the leaders.
No. This year it was Bad Bunny, and he gave his best shot. His best shot.
It makes me wonder, like it's so funny that the Super Bowl has like, millions of people that watch live every year and all that stuff.
Yeah.
Um, and it really makes you wonder where, like, why do people have the expectations that they have? Why everybody feels like they feel entitled to get exactly what they want. You know, it's
Yeah.
weird because somebody from Portland, Oregon, is going to want something completely different than somebody in Tallahassee, Florida. and they're going to want something different than you know Danbury, Connecticut.
Oh yeah.
So, like, we're a huge country, so it's like, why does everybody expect that they're going to see exactly what they want on the screen? It blows my mind. I think people they set themselves up for failure by having these weird expectations.
Oh, you're absolutely right. That's why every time I wake up, I try to remind myself today's just another day. I'm gonna live it, and whatever happens, happens. Like it takes the surprise and the joy out of things if you want only specific things to occur. Like it has to be my way or the highway. And then I don't know. I guess my advice to anyone is, and it kind of alludes to what you're talking about, is why don't you just travel the country a little bit? You're gonna
Mhm.
see a lot. Everyone's life is so different and different necks of the woods here. So.
Well, that's what I find so funny. Like, America is so massive. Like,
Mhm.
I have family in Europe, mostly Ireland. It's funny because Europeans, they're always like, "Oh, how many countries have Americans been to?" Americans don't travel very much, and it's like, yeah, you've got to realize our country is the size of your continent.
Yeah.
I mean, we have Pacific Islands, we have a barren Arctic state that's Alaska. We have a rainforest, we have deserts, we have Caribbean islands, we have beaches, we have mountains, we have plateaus, we have everything, almost everything that exists in the world that you can find in America.
It was beautiful too.
It
It
is.
really is.
And yeah, you can say, okay, I've been to 18 countries. Well, when each of those countries is within a 5-hour drive of each other, it kind
Yeah.
of takes it away a little bit. But it's what nobody ever says to Canadians, why don't you travel more? Canadians never get it.
No, but that's because people understand they're still shoveling their driveways,
This is true.
to this
Especially right now.
day.
They just got hit pretty hard up there with a big chunk of snow.
And we will be too. So,
I know. Don't remind me. So when it comes to world affairs stuff, you were starting to share a little bit with me about the ruling on the tariffs that I'm not completely brought up to speed on that. So what is happening with the tariffs and with the ruling that the Supreme Court made?
all right. So, this is fun because it happened. The actual decision date was February 20th, 2026. So, that is yesterday. This
Yeah,
is very fresh. Um, I'm sure people have been watching the news and have, heard about these tariffs and in the manner in which the president has enacted them. And truth be told, it is the first time it's ever been done to this degree. That doesn't really come as a shock. I mean, at this point, I feel like whatever's on the news, the headline, it's like, all right, I've seen it all.
right.
Like every day it gets crazier, but with this one, it's pretty tame and it makes a lot of sense. So the question presented is whether the International Emergency Economic Powers Act, which is the IEEPA, which still isn't very short, um, so it authorizes the president to impose tariffs. They're arguing this. Now, he enacted like a, what do you want to call it, national emergency, and that's how he gets this power. He wants to address two foreign threats mainly, which is the influx of illegal drugs from Canada, Mexico, and China, but also it's a manner of American manufacturing and the lack thereof in this country kind of crippling us. So those are his main points to this. This is how he's saying this is, a state of emergency. We really, really need to, take back America in his head. So in this decision, it does cite how he imposed tariffs to deal with each threat. So really, he was, sending a lot of tariffs towards Canada, China, like up to even 25% on some of these goods. I don't really want to get into the nitty gritty of this because this decision is really, really long. It's really long. It's actually not even wrong. Like that's what I want to highlight here because
Right.
at the end of the day, the Supreme Court, their only job is to really see if any branch is being constitutional.
Right. It's
Right?
constitutional oversight.
Yeah. So on the Trump side, you can argue that they feel that what's going on in China, what's coming into our country from Mexico, from Canada, foreign nations, is an unusual and extraordinary threat. Um, and everything that it's still something, it's foreign policy based on what's going on primarily outside of the United States. So he's like, hey, I can do this, I can do this. However, as the headlines have shown, it is now being deemed unconstitutional. While they do admit the president has the power to set tariffs in these times, um, the manner in which he's doing so undermines congressional powers because they're the ones that really are the ones that set taxes. So it's kind of limiting Trump's power to do so. But I did see in my studies, because I like to look at the news pieces of this too, and Trump did, what Trump normally does, and it is in essence a little funny, but he just goes, you know what, I'm going to do it again. I'm going to do 10% across the board, all these countries. you know, he's like,
That's awesome.
yeah. So that's kind of the nutshell of it. Like, and I mean it. This is long, and the dissenting opinion is the longest piece, written by Justice Kavanaugh. But um, I do highly encourage people to at least give it a crack. Try and look at this. It is insightful. It makes, it gives the insight on why it's actually unconstitutional. So you can always add that piece to your argument. It helps. But I don't want
Yeah.
to ramble. I want to hear what you think.
No, I mean, I think it's very interesting because you look at, I mean, the Supreme Court is majority conservative. And
Yeah.
so the kind of blanket is that, you'd think that they would always just side with Trump. But it's interesting to hear that argument. And when you said that, it kind of makes sense, seeing that it's more of a tax than it is anything else. Albeit it's not a tax on the American citizens. So I think it's interesting. I mean, we have a long history of having tariffs and embargoes and X, Y, and Z. Especially if you look back at the early 20th century.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think the interesting thing here with this one too are the petitioners involved. Like the actual, here, I'll give you the legitimate court case name so people
yeah,
can find this. It's Learning Resources Inc. versus Trump, President of the United States of America. Um, but a lot of the petitioners were just, and it's like across 12 different states, just a bunch of small businesses, like people
right.
that were, I guess, really negatively affected by this. Um, so it was the people kind of crying for this. But yeah, you do raise a great point because this really is intended to only tax foreign nations or people, bringing in goods here, not
Right.
necessarily a nation per se. But um, yeah, I'm going to have to read this like twice over. That's like normally what I would do. But again, this came out yesterday.
Yeah.
um, and it is wordy.
Yeah.
Probably
How many
by
pages did you
design.
say it is?
Oh, gosh. Which part?
I mean, just Kavanaugh's response was what, like 40 pages?
170.
170 pages. Wow, I was off of that. That's insane.
Well, that's the total. Kavanaugh's was like 60. So
Yeah.
he's like almost half of this,
He's almost half of the whole thing. That's insane.
um,
Well,
this one does.
getting a little bit back into the brain rot side of stuff. Um, I don't know if you saw it. YouTube had a whole outage the other day.
I did not see it. I was unaffected, thank the Lord.
It
So,
genuinely sent like a good portion of the world spiraling. It was hysterical. It was like almost an hour. And I was going back and forth with Tyler, because he's down in Texas for training still.
yeah.
And I'm like, oh, you guys might be getting steak and lobster tomorrow. the world's going to be on fire. They're going to move up your training schedule, and you're going to be deploying. YouTube's out. But it was a lot of Google services were out.
Really?
Yeah. So they haven't confirmed that it was a cyber attack. I don't know if it was a cyber attack. I don't know enough to say whether it was or wasn't. I would be willing to bet it was probably a cyber attack because same time is when Iran started to tick up a little bit and start to posture. I mean, we just moved an entire second carrier strike group off their off their shores.
Glorious.
It's like, what makes you wonder? Are we going to do something like what we did with Maduro with
You
Iran?
know, like, could we pull it off?
Oh,
Given
100%.
Russian interest in the area. You know what I
Guarantee we
mean?
could.
I'm sure we could.
I absolutely guarantee that we could. I
Hmm.
mean, Delta, our special forces and SOCOM guys are they're our tier one guys are like they're second to none, dude. I
Let's make it happen.
if well, I don't know if that would be the best move.
No.
They don't, as far as we know, they don't have nukes now. They're not nuclear capable. But like you said, with the Russian interest, what happens if that leads us down another more dangerous, slippery slope?
Yeah.
I mean, what
I
do you
mean,
think the outcome is going to be of that whole region? I mean, we've been the Strait of Hormuz has been just a constant battleground. I mean, even since the '90s. I mean, look at what was it, '92 or '93 when the we had a ship hit under Clinton.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the Middle East in general, you can say goes back to like even the 80s, 70s, 60s. Like, it's just when will we stop is the question, I guess. Because I don't know about you, but it seems like the general population, whatever side they're on in terms of politics, we don't necessarily want to be there. Definitely, we don't
Right.
want troops on the ground, which we probably wouldn't need to do anyway. But um, I think really the solution, do we just let it go? Do we just let it go?
I mean, I don't know. I mean, that's kind of what we did with Afghanistan, and look what happened.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's my next question is what do you think would happen if we just let it go and let things continue the way that it's happening? What do you envision?
it's definitely interesting. I didn't have the Taliban creating schools for women on my bingo card.
Nobody would have.
You know, it's almost like this. What we were always told, and they very well may still be. You know, I mean, obviously they were at one point a terrorist organization. It's like they're actually starting to form a country. We left behind a lot of stuff to help them out, but it's almost they're almost doing more for the region than we
Hmm.
did in nation building over 20 years, which is pathetic because it makes you wonder what our actual motive was there. I mean, I have friends that were in GWAT, I have friends that deployed, and obviously they're all very, very upset that it went the way that it went because what was the point? And I don't mean that to discount the fact that we went there and that we lost a lot of really good people. I mean, sons and daughters of this country went over there and didn't come home, all for us to give it up and then turn it over to the bad guy, and the bad guy is doing a better job than we did.
Yeah, it's kind of a slap in the face, really.
And
So,
so it's like, what was the point of spending all that money and spending all those lives that you can't? I mean, you can always make money back. You can always rebuild tanks and helicopters and all that stuff. You can't get your friend back like that. And
no.
that's just it's a complete and utter failure on us, for all that stuff. But I mean, realistically, that's why we need to just be more self accountable. Like we have to audit ourselves. We have to be like, okay, this is when we're going to go into a region. This is where we're going to be spending our manpower and spending our money and spending our resources. I mean, if we are going to go through with an actual campaign in Iran, I don't see a way that we can avoid having boots on the ground.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, I think it's going to come to that unless the CIA can do work their magic and. But then it's just another proxy war. Then what are we doing? We're going to fund rebels that are going to turn against us once they overthrow their government. We've seen that one play out how many times? I mean, that was Al Qaeda, that was the
Yeah.
Taliban, that was ISIS. So I don't know. But speaking of audits, we've got some news here in our home state of Massachusetts, which has kind of become national news regarding our audit.
Finally.
I know.
Finally
Well,
national news.
there's like 74%. I think 73% voted. For those of you who don't know, Massachusetts is one of the lowest ranking states for job availability. We
And
are
home
the
affordability as well.
Yep. We're also, I think we're the lowest state, or the highest tax state per individual because as Mike Minogue, a friend of the show, said last night, he said our main industries are education and hospitals who don't pay taxes.
Mm-hmm.
So our largest job market and the largest industries in our state don't pay any taxes. So what does that do? It leaves the burden to the people. So we've been I mean, taxes are going up and up and up. I mean, we're looking at a 2.5 override for my town. They're increasing taxes by I think like 20%. Twenty
Yep.
percent, which is absolutely insane. I don't know how that's legal, but
It's actually
regardless,
crippling.
yeah. I
Most
mean,
people are
it's
living
destroying.
paycheck to
There's a reason
paycheck.
why all the young people in this state are moving out.
Yep.
Nobody wants to stay here. Everybody that I know, including myself, have a plan to get out. Unfortunately,
Me too.
aside from Nick, I think Nick loves this state so much he's just going to be here. He, I could see that kid being the governor someday.
Hey, he's gonna save this state, man. Come
he
on.
really could, man. Listen, he's Massachusetts born and bred, dude. Um, but no. So, anyways, it's like we have this where a couple years ago it went up to vote where we were going to have allow the state auditor, who is a legitimate position in government, who is a Democrat, um, to audit the state government. You know, the governor and where our tax dollars are going and figuring it all out. And that passed by like 73 or 74%. And the governor and the AGs kind of said, no, we're not going to do that.
Mm-hmm.
Even though it was going to be a Democrat auditing Democrats, it wasn't like it was an attack or anything like that or a politically charged move. And that got a lot of people in the state pissed, I'll tell you, on both sides, to the point where now Mike Minogue, who's running for governor, is self-funding the lawsuit for the state auditor to go after the governor and the AG. And he's going to be, if he gets elected, he's going to be funding an audit every quarter using his own tax, or not tax, using his own money that he's made. I mean, the guy's not, he's not hurting for money by any means.
No, he's not. He's loaded, but
Jared and I went out to his house in Gloucester for an event, and it was I didn't even see his house, but
it's a compound.
Yeah, the barn we were in was really cool. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
but he's just got so many good ideas. I mean, he was an officer in the Army. You know, he was an infantry officer, and he has a Bronze Star. He was in Desert Storm and all that stuff. He's a really good.
Oh yeah, he's got a great resume.
Yeah, went on to be a CEO of a biotech company, and exited that when Johnson & Johnson bought them out. And he's definitely not hurting, but he's doing what everybody wishes that wealthy people would do, and that is uses his wealth that he earned to affect change to help everybody.
Absolutely. I mean, I loved the way he spoke, the way he brought everything into one clear picture, and really just the way he's like went about it. He's like, yeah, honestly, this is like my faith brought me to do this. This is for my kids, my family. I know that there are a lot of kids out there that are my children's age and they're leaving, which clearly his kids could stay in Massachusetts their whole lives because there's the money there. But I know you don't feel that way. I know I'm always anxious to leave. I'd probably spend, if I didn't work in Massachusetts, I'd probably spend all my time, even in Connecticut. And that should say a lot.
No that should say a lot. Viewers. I know. No offense to anybody listening from Connecticut, but
so
we fall behind for job growth. We fall behind West Virginia. We are the 50th out of 50 states for job growth, and that's nothing against West Virginia, but historically West Virginia's kind of been like the worst for that, and we've fallen behind them.
Yeah,
you know, the amount of automation that is replacing jobs in Massachusetts, which I get it. You know, obviously, if we're going to continue to increase the minimum wage, I mean, they're talking about bringing it up to $20 now. Yeah, that's going to force companies like McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell, and they're just going to have to start replacing more jobs. Like I remember when the kiosks first came out at McDonald's, right?
Oh yeah.
So get this. This was, I don't even remember what year. I mean, my father was still alive, so it was before 2020. It was well before. It was probably 2015. So my dad and I finished up a job, and we're stopping off at McDonald's before we went to the next house for the next job, and we walk in, and he goes up to the counter like he always did, and they're like, "Oh no, you order over there now." And my dad looks at them and goes, "Oh, I forgot my uniform." And they're like, "What do you mean, sir?" He goes, "Oh, last time I checked, I didn't work here." And they're like, "No," and I'm like, "Dad, just come over." And so like he's like reluctantly, tapping on the thing. And there's another old timer that was told the same thing. And my dad looks over at him and goes, "Oh, your first day too?" Yeah. It was just like the funniest thing ever. That guy had one of the greatest senses of humor ever because he just didn't care.
That's amazing. That's a valid response, though. I think that, especially that you have to use the stupid touch screen and all of that. And in my head, I'm thinking to myself, this touch screen's probably been touched by 100 people today. Some kid that's like licking his hand and smearing it across it too. Like, this is disgusting, all of that. And then it's still an iPad looking thing. I struggle with that sort of thing. Like I'd be like, okay, did I order it or what? I don't want to put my card info into this machine. What's going on?
Right. And you can't order anything from the secret menu.
Yeah.
Like that's the biggest thing. You ever have a McKinley Mac? Not that I want to give McDonald's any free marketing, and I mean it's terrible food to eat. Like you should not eat it. I try not to eat it, but I'm a guilty American sometimes. And
I've wanted a Big Mac for weeks now.
so go and order a Big Mac. You have the only way you can do it now is through the drive-through, and just sub the patties for the quarter pounder patties.
Okay.
Phenomenal. It's phenomenal. Um, but yeah, no, I mean it almost makes you wonder like, are we getting into an era of like overcorrection? Because I get that like they need to save money, right? They need to cut costs because it used to cost them $7.25 an hour to have employees, and now it's going to cost them almost three times that if we do go up to $20 an hour. I mean, it's already costing them double. So if you think about it, if they had ran 20 people a shift, now to keep payroll the same, they got to run 10. And
Yeah.
if we jump that up even more, what else are they going to replace? Quality's already gone down. Private equity's bought up a lot of different companies, and what private equity does when they buy these companies is, they cut corners. They try to save as many pennies as they can, and that's why you see, a lot of the food, especially food restaurants that we grew up, eating at, the quality's just gone downhill.
Yeah, or the portions are just so painfully small now, which might be a good thing for some people.
I was
But
gonna say that's like the most American thing to complain about. Have you been to Europe?
huh?
Have you been over to Europe?
Oh, I have not personally, but I have some friends that have like
Yeah,
backpacked through it and all of that. And yeah, like food's smaller there. And
it's
it's,
it's hysterical. You go over
nutrient
there and you order like a
dense.
full dinner and you eat the whole thing and you're like, I could still go for more.
Yeah, just spending an arm and a leg too, depending on where you go. But
Whereas here,
depends
you're
which
always
one.
having a takeout box, or only for leftovers.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of which, that's so. Have you ever gone to one of those Korean hot pot spots? So
And I
there's
don't think
one.
I'll be able to for a while. Chinese food and like
It's,
all Asian food's ruined for me. Even Indian food right now. I'm taking a break.
poor guy got food poisoning. That was your Valentine's Day gift.
It was. I would like to thank my stomach for that. Yeah, it was a great gift.
Well, there's this place not too far from here, and you go there and you sit down. My ex and I went, and probably like 4 years ago at this point. I'll never
Hmm.
go back. So it's a genius business model. You go, you sit down, they give you a menu, you order the meat and all that stuff, and then they just bring you out raw meat, and so you cook it yourself. So they don't have any chefs. So then
Okay.
they open up the thing and you cook it, and it costs the same that it would cost if somebody else cooked it for me, if not a
Hmm.
little bit more. And then by the time that you're done, if you don't eat all the food, they charge you a waste fee. And then if you want to take any home, you have to buy the takeout box.
Oh, that's foul. That's
And
wrong.
then they add 20% to the tip or to the bill already for a tip. And then they still ask you for another tip.
It is a genius business model. I see what you're doing here.
I mean, like, and they seem to be relatively busy still, but I'm like, that is not ethical in my opinion. But it's a
No.
genius. Think about it. You're gonna come to my restaurant. You're gonna cook the food, and then if you order more than you eat, after you already paid for it, I'm gonna charge you for throwing it away. And then if you want to take it home, I'm gonna charge you for the takeout container.
How much was the takeout container? How
I think
much?
it was like $5 or $10.
Even $5. Like that was the
Yeah,
max I was willing to go. Like
yeah.
anything more than $5, that is unethical. That's robbery. You know.
For a
That,
container that cost them probably 80 cents.
yeah. Was it just styrofoam? That you
Yeah,
can't
it
even
was
reuse
like
it.
any other takeout box.
Oh, that's great. Oh yeah.
It's like you guys are freaking. It's killing me. But then it's like Friendlies. Like Friendlies has gone downhill. I miss as a kid. That's a huge Massachusetts thing. As a kid, everybody always went out to Friendlies. For the restaurants. I mean, Friendlies ice cream is nationwide. I don't think that Friendlies stores are.
No, I
Um,
don't think so either. Especially not now.
yeah,
So
well, yeah. I mean, they've been bought and sold so many times, but the quality's gone down and the price goes up. I mean, that chicken super melt thing used to always. It's like $15 now, and it's
that
half the
was the
size it
one
used
good
to be.
thing. That was the one good thing about Friendlies is you could get a huge meal and it'd be like $8. Come
Mm-hmm.
on.
Yep,
No.
it's insane.
That's tragic. It's been years since I went. I'd like to attribute the fribble to my high school obesity. You know, it was a problem. I would drink all, like even just one of those is like 2,000 calories, and I didn't really know that. I didn't know what calories were because they don't really teach that when you're young. So
Right.
yeah, I got pretty fat off the mint chocolate chip fribble,
Well, it's
strictly.
like I remember learning the food pyramid, and now
That's
they
about
just
it.
reversed it.
Really.
Yeah, the new food pyramid. Because here, let me pull it up because that was a
Weird.
good one.
So like
They
our fats at the bottom, like can I go and just start consuming egregious amounts of fats and then meat?
yeah. Well, so okay, here. So it used to be that like bread and grain and all that stuff was at the bottom, the big. So you want to eat a lot of that, and you didn't want to eat a lot of fats and all that stuff. Now it's like high protein diet or high protein dairy and healthy fats, fruits and veggies are like at the top, and grains are at the bottom. Like like
So
you don't
how
want
I
to eat.
eat, okay.
Yeah, it's like okay, interesting. So eat more meat, less bread, which makes sense. I mean, I feel like our entire generation grew up eating so much more gluten than we probably should have.
Oh yeah.
I mean, every lunch there were rolls,
Mm-hmm.
but every lunch didn't have carrots.
No.
Every lunch had pizza. Not every lunch had chicken.
No, I feel like the most common veggie we had, it's not even a vegetable, it's just corn in
Yeah,
Munson. That was about it. Like, here's your corn, kids. So
it's like I'll never forget because you're only a year younger than me, or a year and a month or whatever. So you're
yeah.
just a grade below me. So do you remember what school lunches were like before Obama?
Yes.
They were
I
so good.
loved the sloppy Joe, man. They
Yep.
killed the sloppy Joe. That was criminal. Like, what were
Hmm.
they thinking? I
And
wore
even the
white.
calzones before, and what was the pizza thing? It was like a pizza roll. That was super
Yeah.
good.
It was like round or
It was
whatever.
like a stromboli kind of.
Yeah, those were really good. I remember the stromboli. And what's another thing that was amazing? I know they changed the chicken patties over, but
Yeah.
that wasn't a bad thing, actually. I liked the newer chicken patties. They even added a spicy one.
Hmm.
Uh, then again, I do think Trump was finally in office when the spicy patties came our way.
Post Obama or during Obama, the only lunch that I ever looked forward to was a popcorn chicken bowl.
Yeah,
Load that thing up with gravy and all that stuff. But looking back, it's like that still couldn't have been that good for you.
no. It sounds really good right now, but yeah, it's
That's
not
so
good
good right
for
now. I
you.
could actually go for a popcorn chicken bowl. Maybe I'll go to KFC later. Be a fat
Oh yeah.
American.
This is actually kind of topical though because you're talking about like what's the term again where we're just trying to be like perfect, like we're trying to
Yeah,
we see a problem with
overcorrecting.
overcorrecting.
Yeah,
Right now I think dietary issues are being overcorrected to a crazy degree, and I'm partial, like I'm part of that story. Like I used to be really big, and then I adopted that high protein diet and then going to the gym a lot, and now it seems pretty widespread on things like Instagram and the TikTok, which I don't really use TikTok, but more and more people are doing this sort of thing. And I don't know where that's going to lead us in like 20 years from now. I think about it. I'm like, should I be having all these protein shakes, all this creatine, all these pre-workouts? Like, are we setting ourselves up for like heart failure in our 50s? What's going on here?
yeah. Well, the heart thing is weird. It seems like everybody's having heart issues lately. You
Yeah.
know, like I don't understand it. Even like my friend Dan, he's your age. He's just a little less than a year younger than me, and
Hmm.
he's he was a perfectly healthy guy, and I'm not gonna say what decisions he had to make during COVID to keep his job, but ever since that happened, he he's been having heart issues. I mean, like the guy died once, I think. It's absolutely insane. And you're talking about aside from that, a healthy 26-year-old.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And the amount of young people that are getting diagnosed with cancer and they're getting diagnosed. I mean, they say that the numbers are going down. I don't think they're going down because I see more and more of it.
Yeah. 100%.
I mean, the amount of microplastics, which God knows what that's even going to end up being in the next couple decades and what long-term effects that's going to have. Like when we were kids, remember the lunch or not Lunchables? What were the other ones?
There was
Oh,
Lunchables. I really only remember the Lunchables.
the
My
ones
mom was actually
they had
pretty
like the
good
blue
about
tray.
them.
They had like
Oh,
the blue
kid
tray.
cuisine.
Yeah,
Kid
yeah.
cuisine,
Kid
man.
cuisines. Those things were straight up plastic. You were
Yeah.
eating plastic that entire time. And they're like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's good for you. You should probably, yeah, that's healthy.
Come on, that little brownie that came with it.
It was
You
so
just,
good. It
it
was so
was
good.
so good.
That
That
was
was
so good.
iconic.
No, it's absolutely insane. It's and just to see the shifting, but like even with the overcorrecting, I mean, we're getting into this whole like the cancel culture stuff's kind of slowed down a little bit, I think, which is good. But I mean, there was a period of time where we probably wouldn't even be able to have the podcast that we're having now. Some of the conversations we've had over the first 4 episodes probably would have gotten us canceled in some way, shape, or form. And I'm sure somebody, I don't know if you saw the shorts, some people were coming at me for my views on law enforcement. They're like, "Oh,
Heaven
don't be
forbid
a
a
cop."
cop speaks his mind, right?
Yeah,
Jeez,
it's like, oh my gosh. It's like, they always say don't read the comments, but you can't help yourself. Like you have to. And it's like you guys realize I'm not a cop anymore, right? First of all, like I'm talking about my experience that has brought me to where I am. And second of all, like it doesn't your opinion online is irrelevant. Like go make your own freaking podcast. We're not like
yeah.
crazy big or famous or anything like that, but I'm here putting it out there and sharing my knowledge with you. Whatever my knowledge is. And if you think that I'm an idiot, I'm an idiot. That's okay. I can't change your mind.
Now, I'd love to get people that definitely disagree with us on the show at some point,
Yeah.
because like that's part of the conversation. That's what we're
Well,
trying
that's
to
the
do
whole
here.
point of this is to create the platform where we can all come and talk. And guess what?
Yeah.
I might learn something new,
Yeah.
right? Or they might learn something new. Or best case scenario, we both learn something new and we walk away more informed and have a better understanding on how things work. Like the thing that the world is lacking right now is understanding what like putting yourself in the shoes of the other side. You know, everything's about perspective. How I see
Yes.
things, how you see things, we might agree on a lot of things, but we also disagree on a lot of things. And that's how the rest of the world is.
Oh, 100%. I agree with that fully. I
I mean,
did put myself in the shoes of the other side at one point, though.
this
I
is
did,
true.
quite literally.
Your
Felt like
college
kind of
years, I've
a
heard, were quite scary.
yeah, no, like honestly, maybe not scary. It was still a good experience. I learned a lot. Like that's the thing. You can learn amongst any sort of person. You don't even have to agree with one another, but you're definitely building skills. And I think the one thing I learned was that I can coexist with an entire group of people that would hate me if they knew exactly what I was thinking sometimes.
Right.
And we can actually be the best of friends. I'm
Right.
not thinking anything wrong towards what they're doing per se, but I'm like I don't know if what we're working towards is the right thing. Because that's legitimately what I was doing with my internship. I'm like, I don't know if like I'm just doing this for credits. I'm pretty good at it, but do I want to be doing this?
Right.
So
What
yeah,
change am I really affecting? And is it going in the direction that I wish it would?
yeah. I was actually going to keep doing it too. I did one semester's worth, and they're like, "You want to come back, like full blown leadership role?" And I was like, "Yeah, yeah." One meeting deep, I was like, "I am done. I am so beyond done. I'm not going to have my name attached to this, even though some of it was really good, positive change on a college campus per se. But what they wanted to do within the state of Massachusetts would be very, very much not within my my
Right.
DNA. So, yeah,
And that's the thing with politics. Like, I mean, there's a million different types of politicians if you really, but I put them into mostly two different categories. You have your politicians that want to run and play the game of, you know, we're going to talk on a lot of BS points. We're going to, I'm going to sit there and use these hot button topics that I'm never going to really be able to touch, but just to get an emotional response from the potential voter. Or you have the guys that are kind of like us, where we sit there and we say, listen, let's just have the real conversation. I don't care what side you're from. I care what your motivation is. Like, is your motivation to actually do the right thing and sometimes be wrong? Like, a lot of people forget, especially here in Mass. I mean, I think we have, out of all of our state reps, we have under 10 Republicans, I think.
yep.
I know as far as our state senators go, we have 4 or 5 Republicans out of 40 state senators. But as a state legislature, as a member of that, you know, of that house, you're a representative of your constituents. Well, Massachusetts is 42% Republican or something like that. Is how we voted in the last general election. So, how many Democrats that are in office in the state are going to the state house and arguing for some conservative ideology? None.
Next to
So
none.
they're really not being true representatives of their constituents. I mean, we saw that with the most recent gun bills that have gone through. And I mean, I know a lot of Democrats that aren't happy with how that went. And, even my mother, right? She's a massage therapist. She's been practicing for 30 years. She's
Yeah.
going to have to close down her practice because Jake Oliver is one of them, who is, he's actually the sponsor of the bill, saying that every year massage therapists are now going to have to go through like 40 or 50 hours or something ridiculous of continued ed. Yep. And it's going to be all this more permitting and all this stuff. My mother taught massage therapy in Worcester at Bancroft. My mom taught bookkeeping for massage therapy. My mom, she has been. What does she need for continuing ed? So because of that, she's going to close her practice down.
It's not
And
even that
because of
deep.
that, your average massage in the state is going to go up from it's like $60 or $70 now. I bet you it's going to go up to like double that.
Oh yeah, continuing ed is expensive. I know. I have to do it, but I get like every 3 years. A year, you said?
Yeah,
That's intense. That's a
yes, it's
long
going to be
time.
like 30 or 40 hours a year of continued ed. It's ridiculous. I don't know what makes him think that that's a good idea. I mean, I don't know. It's gonna really hurt a lot of people because massage therapists aren't really known for being the most wealthy of people.
No.
So you're just adding more, and you're essentially the state's just taking more away from them, and that's what the state does. This state, and that's why we needed the audit. That's why everybody's pushing for it, both left and right, because it's becoming so. I mean, how do you continue to afford to live in a state when you pay more and more every year, and we still have potholes, right? Our our government funded entity stuff, as far as, I mean, SNAP is a national thing, but when it comes to housing, even the local housing authorities, they're at maximum capacity, most of them.
And they're
When
falling down. They're
Yeah,
all old.
well, they're
They're
all
just
they're all slums.
yeah.
I mean, trust me, as somebody who works in property management, I've dealt with my fair share of slumlords and whatnot. Section 8, Section 8 can be the worst slumlord of them all.
It can.
You know,
It yeah.
this system that's set up to actually help people. And don't get me wrong, I believe that people that are in need should get the help that they need. I mean, if we can throw them a bone and say, hey, here's 2 years to get back on your feet. After those 2 years, if you can't figure it out, I don't care. I mean, obviously, especially if you have kids, I care honestly more. But I think that any form of welfare, and this isn't just in mass. This is my master plan for everything, right? It would make sense if you get up to 2 years of help, because sometimes it can take 2 years to get back up on your feet. Give them that help, and then if they can't find a job for themselves and they can't create their own income, rebuild the job corps. There are so many industries that are hurting for people, especially when it comes to manufacturing, because we're going to be reshoring a bunch of manufacturing companies. Um, I mean, the
Hopefully.
U.S. Postal Service is always hiring. Problem is, you got to pass a drug test. A lot of people can't pass a drug test. But if you're on government assistance, you should probably have to pass a drug test to begin with. So that would make that not be an issue anymore. So what I'm saying is, after those 2 years, you either get put into the job corps, or, I mean, I'm not above saying that's when you have, if they're within the age group and they qualify, hey, you can join the National Guard. You can join the reserves or join the Army, and they'll teach you how to be an air traffic controller. They'll teach you how to be an electrician. I'm not saying a combat role. I'm not saying you push everybody into you can make it so it's the combat roles are voluntary, but the military is always looking for people. I mean, wheeled vehicle mechanics, helicopter mechanics.
Yeah, you
There are
can
so many
have a
options there.
career. Like you can have a whole career just working for the military. Your whole life. You
It's
want.
incredible. I'm 27 right now. If I was to join the military this year, I could retire with a full pension at 47 years old. That's not bad.
It's
That
better
means
than the American dream.
47. I don't have to. I mean, I'd probably just go get another job, but You know what I mean? Like that's not a bad gig.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if it would be kind of forcing their hand. It's like, hey, listen, you get 2 years to figure it out. If you can't figure it out, you get put into the job corps and you're going to go build bridges or something, and might be manual labor work, or you can join the military and go do finance or go do you know any of the there's a plethora of jobs out there that
Yeah.
people could do,
No, I
and it would
appreciate you
honestly,
sharing this, man. Like a master plan. I do have like a scenario I want to run by you, and then we can kind
yeah,
of play off of that too. But if you want to finish your thoughts,
no,
please.
let's hear it.
Okay. So I guess I'll use myself as an example. And like you did mention, like if they have kids, you care a lot more. But as you know, I love being devil's advocate. So like say
Mhm.
if it really is like a single mother has two kids, the father can't afford you know, child support or is completely dead. Doesn't matter
Right.
which way. There's no funds coming from the dad. Just put it like that. How long, I guess, would you say it's permittable for the mother to be collecting things like food stamps and getting like fuel assistance, basic welfare items,
Hmm.
uh, when like, let's just assume the mom has a job because they probably should if they have two kids. And if
Right.
they don't, obviously, then I'd say the top priority is helping them get a job. But I want to just stress at this one point. I know that there are a lot of jobs out there, even in this state, but a lot
Hmm.
of jobs are also leaving this state. A lot of the best companies are abandoning us.
Yep.
I'd say the most important landmark of Massachusetts outside of, like Boston being our biggest city would be like the Cape,
Yep.
Cape Cod chips.
Kit Kat potato
Literally the
chips.
namesake is
Yep.
leaving our state.
I
They're
know.
done. They're done. So with
It's
all that considered, what do
it's
you do
insane.
to them?
At least they're not changing the name to Outer Banks potato chips. They said they're going to keep the name.
Okay.
So no, it's incredible. I mean, they've left. Minogue, I believe Minogue was saying last night he got Hood to stay. Hood was going to be leaving.
Oh, that's good.
But I mean, Smith and Wesson, that's a born and bred Massachusetts company. They're gone. But to your point, yes, there are companies leaving, and like I said before, like we are the worst in job growth. But there, there's always work to be done, right? And that's
Hmm.
why I said if we rebuild the job corps to what it used to be, like Great New Deal style, and I mean, we have how many bridges in the state need to be fixed? How many highways need to be fixed? And for that single mother, I'm not saying she should be the one going out and doing the actual physical manual labor, but guess
Yeah.
what? They need people that are working on the accounting side. They need people that are working on the logistics side. They need people that are saying, okay, dispatchers for trucks even.
Yeah, dispatch is big.
So there are so many options for them. And if they want to learn finance and whatnot, great. I mean, realistically, education is what stops the poverty loop. The more that if we just continue to give people money more, month after month, year after year, and the kids grow up seeing that that's how it's done, and the kids don't get educated, and the parent doesn't get educated. You create a welfare state where all they know, it's not necessarily their fault, but all that they know is to continue to expect that check every month. And that's why when we saw the SNAP benefits go away, it turned into you know a shitstorm.
Which didn't really happen anyway. I'll be honest with you. Like the
I think it
people
was
that
a
I
month or
knew
two.
on it, they didn't really lose anything at
Well,
all. Went
there was all
down.
the people on TikTok that were going crazy but a lot of them got exposed, which I thought was hysterical. You started to see how much fraud is in the system. How am I
Yeah.
supposed to afford to get my nails painted? It's like you shouldn't be using that money for that anyways.
Yeah.
It's incredible. So it's like it's less. It would be less money for the government to train people how to work and to get them off the system than it is to just pay for generations of the same people that are just mooching off the system. You know, the system should be there for when you fall in hard times. I've said it before and I'll say it again. The government should be like the parent of a college student. When you go off to college, you can call mom and dad to get yourself into a gym. You're like, hey, I can't afford this month. Can I use a credit card? And they'll say yes or no. Not the helicopter parent that's saying, "Oh, anything you want, honey. Yep, okay, we got money for anything. Well, yeah, you want that? Yep, get that, buy that, buy that." But no, if you can't figure it out on your own, you shouldn't get it for free.
Yeah.
If you need food to survive, or you need tools to get to where you need to be, that's one thing.
Oh, yeah, great points. I mean, I definitely 1,000,000% agree with you. So,
But we'll see. Someday when I'm the president, we can do
yeah.
that.
Well, that's the problem. And what I was going to say is, you notice how everyone's known that that was the case for a while now. At least I have. It seems pretty logical, too, to, oh, how about we help the people that are in trouble get resources to make themselves, effective people in society again,
Right.
actually fix the problem. But I kind of had an idea why, I guess you could say it's a working theory, why nothing's ever actually changed. And it's because the people who are suffering tend to vote for one party specifically, at least in Massachusetts. So,
It's starting to change, though. I really do believe that because even in some of the inner cities, when I was the property manager of a decent sized shopping center that has recently closed and it's been redeveloped. That's how I kind of got my hand in the property management business right out of the police department. And they, you know, I worked with a lot of, especially in the security department, a lot of big dudes that are from kind of the ghetto, if you will.
mhm.
And I remember even back in 2022, 2023, they all are waking up. Like everybody's kind of done with how the left has kind of just abused their vote because they just assume they're going to get it every year. They show up in the inner cities once every 4 years, you
Yep.
know, and they say, "Oh, we're going to do all this stuff for you," and then they get nothing in return. I mean, if what we'll look at Detroit. When was the last time that Detroit was actually voted Republican?
I wouldn't be able to tell you. It feels like never happened.
I mean, I'd have to look it up. It's been a very long
Oh,
time.
no.
Chicago too. New York City. I mean, I guess New York City under Giuliani, but realistically, that was only because of post 9/11 sentiment, right?
Hmm.
So you kind of get into it, and it's like, all right, well, if the Democrats really do care that much about affecting positive change in the inner cities, why aren't they actually doing it? They just talk about it, they don't do it.
Yeah.
So,
All right, I have an answer for you, but it's really just for governor. The last time Detroit had a Republican governor was 1957 to 61.
well, that's Republican governor from Detroit.
Yeah,
What about mayor?
or
Because
mayor. I meant
yeah, okay,
mayor.
mayor. Yeah, yeah,
But
you're
yeah,
good. So
we're
in
talking
the
a long
50s,
time.
yeah, it's absolutely incredible. Like I said, they show up every 4 years, and this is a big thing of what I was getting. They they're everybody's kind of over it. What's the point? Why show up every 4 years and make all these false promises and then nothing changes? My family keeps getting more poor. You ban guns, but more of my friends get shot. It it doesn't make any sense, and it's all of. I mean, look at Florida. Look at how Florida has changed so much since they went from being a blue purple state to a red state. All the industry that's flown in there. I mean, Tennessee is one of the most consistently conservative states, and
Hmm.
look at the amount of industry that's left our state and gone there. Look at the amount of industry that's coming to Tennessee, let alone the industry that has started there and has been doing really well. Now,
I
I don't
can't
want to
believe.
really talk up Tennessee too much because they've been getting a little bit hairy with their legal system. They arrested Whistle and Diesel.
Really
Oh yeah, they got him on some like tax thing. It was stupid,
glorious.
but you're gonna get that weird legal stupid stuff anywhere. But I mean, even California, right? I mean,
Wow.
Northern California is mostly conservative, but all the high density population centers are down in Southern California, and I mean, look at Skid Row. There's literally an entire like it blows my mind.
It
The
does.
homeless encampments and all that stuff. It breaks my heart too because think about how much better this country could be doing if those people were actually given the opportunity to contribute to the system.
Yeah.
I mean, you're talking about millions of people that could be contributing tens or hundreds of millions of dollars of tax dollars to actually fix these issues. Instead, they're draining the system. Same with the
Yeah.
incarceration issue.
I
I
know
mean, I
there are a lot
worked
of
in the
people in
jails.
jail that shouldn't even be there. That's one piece.
Yep.
That's one
Well,
piece.
and even when you're in the jail, like where I worked, the jail that I worked at was pretty good as far as education and rehabilitation. We have one of
Hmm.
the lowest recidivism rates in the country. But
Yeah.
in general, they really should be focusing on like, hey, we need plumbers. So guess what? When you're locked up, you'll have the opportunity to go and learn plumbing. Like if you're going to be in for 6 years or 8 years, guess what? That's the right amount of time to learn all the stuff you need to learn. And then you get out and you're not spending, you're not like, oh my gosh, I got to go sell drugs again. Or I got to go, steal or rob or whatever. It's like, oh, now I'm out and I can go and start my own plumbing business and be my own boss. And nobody can not hire me because of my record, because it's not like the customer's going to know.
No.
Yeah. And then they go and they're making 120 grand a year. And then they can afford to get a nice apartment and eventually a house, hopefully, and then eventually start a family or take care of the family that they might have already had. Like, and then we have that need met in society. It just makes so much sense, but that's why it's not happening. It's because it makes too much sense.
Oh yeah. No, we need to keep people in jail. What do you mean? Come on.
The average inmate costs something like it's between $30,000 and $40,000 a year.
Yeah, it's actually mind blowing. It is mind blowing. I mean, it makes sense. I'm sure some jails get funded a lot more than others too. Yours, if you guys were that successful, hopefully you had pretty pennies to support it. But
Yes and no. I mean, well, your girlfriend works for that same department now.
Oh, so it's not that good.
Yeah, it's not that good.
They're doing the best they can.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is, you do what you can with what you have, but the motivation's good. I mean, the sheriff's a good guy. He had one slip up at the casino one time, but we won't talk about that.
Oh, yeah. Let's kick that one under the rug a little bit, just a little bit.
He's not a bad guy though,
No.
and he's doing, like I said, he's doing the best what he can. But yeah, it's just I feel like the answer is temporarily increasing the resources to eventually be able to cut them, if that makes sense. Give these people the tools they need now and get them off the system forever, because then you can create generations of people that are successful, that aren't, turning to crime, that aren't doing drugs, that aren't, living off of the system. And then we can start to reinvest that money into our society in other ways.
Sounds great on paper, man. Let's see it.
But all right, my friend.
Yeah, we're hitting the hour mark. What are we gonna do?
I think that kind of wraps us up, unless you got anything good.
No, we covered a lot. We did. I mean, we could probably keep going for hours and hours, but who wants to listen to
Let's
that?
tell them about some of the potential guests that we're going to have on. So I did talk to Minogue a little bit.
Really?
Yep.
Okay.
In his campaign, we'll see if we can get that to happen. We may have
that'd be a shoot. Like we'd have to really stretch that one out and come up with, you'd probably want to see the questions and everything first. Totally fine.
I don't think so. I think that he's kind of one that he'd go on the fly.
Yeah.
But I also want to make it worth his time. So which means we need you guys, the viewers and the listeners, to share this everywhere you can, because we definitely need to grow this thing. We need, if you can share this with your friends, your family, anybody that you think is going to actually enjoy this kind of content, because this is really what we're here for. As far as other viewers go, or other guests go, obviously Tyler's going to be coming back home soon, so I'm really pumped to get him back on and hopefully get us to all be in person. I don't know exactly what we're going to have to do to make that happen. I guess that there are some technical issues, because episode 0 and 1 were filmed in person. We just could not have the actual video for it, which was...
It could be more of a vlog, Like who says it needs to be through podcast style? Like, say we're doing something really stupid by a fireplace, it'd be tough to log out the microphone. So.
Right. I think that would be fun. I mean, lapel mics are a lot easier to work with too.
Yeah, that could be fun.
We'll figure it out. We'll have a good time. And as always, if you guys have any recommendations as far as guests go, or content and topics that you'd like to see discussed, please let us know in the comments below. But other than that, I think that's it. So this has been A Working Theory, episode 4. Thank you guys for joining us, and I hope that you guys have yourselves a lovely day. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe, and do anything that you can to help us out, because we want to just create the best platform for you guys and your friends to really be able to watch and potentially come on and discuss topics on and hear your side of the story and hear your working theories. All right, guys, have a good day.
Thank you.